Devoted chosen. Such misplaced zeal, their eyes remain closed to the true path. Not like you.
Welcome back to another WoW Go Make It video. Today we'll be covering new Legion Legacy coming out next Tuesday. Before we get into that, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button to get notified when I release my new content and all the juicy gold guides. Alright guys, so let's get into this. So first and foremost, I want to say that I did show you most of this already in the past, but we're going to be covering the new aspect of it, and that is Legion Legacy raids and dungeons. Now the thing is that they haven't added this yet, but they will add it next week. This is something that we did not foresee. Honestly, we thought they were going to add this in Shadowlands like they always do. They always add legacy stuff in the next expansion, and boom, those 2 expansions ago is actually a legacy. Now this is very surprising to me because honestly, I really thought they were going to wait. But hey, it's whatever. I think it's most likely due to the virus and so forth, because people are, here at home and they can't go to work. They need something to do extra. And this is going to add a lot of gold to your arsenal. Now, with that said, let's actually get into all the details. Alright, so on the screen, you're going to be seeing a spreadsheet. This is going to be for most of the video, and the reason why is because this is what matters, not a gameplay. So, with that said, the first section we're going to be covering is WOD raids and Mr. Panda raids. These are actually something that you want to do every week. Don't get me wrong, you could do cat raids. That's something you want to put on the side. It will give you anywhere from 5 to 10k extra, depending on what setting you do and how lucky you are when it comes to actually items that drop. Remember, weapons are always going to be a lot more gold worth than regular items, due to them being rarer than other items such as necks, feet, and so forth. So with WOD, you're going to get a total of 22,232 raw gold. 4 hours and 21 minutes it took me to do with a Warlock. You got to understand, Warlocks are slow. Yeah, Burning Rush is there, but only to a certain extent. If you're a Demon Hunter or anybody else who's just like OP fast, you're going to be doing this under 4 hours. It's going to take you probably about 3 hours if you can get it done. Let me know how long it takes you to do this, and if you're a fast boy or if you're a slow boy, let me know in the comments below. I do want to say right now that Mr. Panda is going to be just as much, actually almost as much. It's going to be a total of 18,371 for all difficulties. Now, I do want to say right now, when I say all difficulties, I should have said all raids, because there's not all difficulties. You can only do Mythic and Siege, and you can do Heroic and the other ones. Sadly, it didn't start until WOD that you can do all difficulties, which in Legion, it continues that, which is great, guys, because honestly, this is going to give you a lot more gold than you expect. Now, I do want to say it's going to take you about 3 hours and 24 minutes just to do all of Mr. Panda. Now, if you're fast, again, if you're fast, you're going to get this down to probably about 2 hours. With the total time for me was 7 hours and 45 minutes. That's a lot. That's a lot of time. That's 1 hour a day, and 1 hour and so many minutes a day. You could actually do this in a week, which I don't think is a bad thing, and honestly, I think it actually is good for a lot of players who are just starting, especially if you're a fresh player. When you come in here and you're actually battle for Azeroth ready, and you get that boost or whatever, you can go to these dungeons and get these done and get some gold real quick. I see a lot of players who are new or transfer to a server say, I don't have no gold. And yet they sit there and ask for gold, and they, don't even know how to get the gold. It's very simple. Go to Mr. Panda, just do Mr. Panda raids, and boom, you are gold rich and you can get your stuff going. Alright, so a few disclaimers before we start this. Is going to be first covering raids, then dungeons. We're going to cover normal on both. We're not going to do Mythic at all or Heroic, because you can do all of, settings. I will be giving you the total of all settings and what I think is going to happen and so forth. Subject to change, guys. I am not going to actually say 100% sure this is right. So if something is off or is, a little bit better or a little worse when it comes to Tuesday, don't kill me for it. This is just something I'm going off of the Dungeon Journal, and I couldn't get to the BTR. And I went and looked at the last raids and dungeons and see how much they increased, and honestly, I think some things are in place already, so let's actually go over it. So first and foremost is the Legion raids. As you can see right here, we got 5 raids. So we got their loot per boss, we got their average total, average gold, total gold estimate, gold per boss, and total. As you can see, it's going to get, with all 3 difficulties, it's going to get about 26,070 gold, a total of 8,690 gold for just 1 difficulty if you do each one of them just on normal. And the reason why I come with this is because the 26 gold per boss is the average you're going to get from actually normal mode. This could increase up to 50, because I've seen it on Mr. Panda raids. They were 50 until they got actually nerfed into 26. You got to remember, they did nerf Mr. Panda, which you can expect this to happen in WOD. WOD has actually not had a nerf, and they will nerf this whenever it gets more and more in. They did this when they actually introduced Legacy WOD. to Mr. Panda. Now, I do want to say right now, too, as well, you're going to get a total estimate of gold cost, and this is going to be a total of all the items you get from each drop. As you can see, it equals up to 7,650. It makes more than a bulk of what you're going to get of total from all the dungeons, and this is not including any of the trash or any of the greens. So you're looking probably, if you get lucky with the greens and everything, or if you're getting lucky with the purples, which you can still sell, they will still be selling for a lot. There's a lot of sought after stuff in Burning Throne, and also too as well Tomb, that people are wanting to buy. But we are not here for auction house gold, so let's actually get into the rest, which is going to be the last thing. It's going to be Legion, and it's going to add about 8 to 9k. If you add 8k, it's going to be 34,070 gold, and if you actually add the 9k, it's going to be 35,070 gold. Now, all this is based off of just me going off the Dungeon Journal and actually looking at the prices of previous raids going to Legacy. I want to say right now that Emerald Nightmare probably will be the less, because it has the very first beginning of Legion, and it was basically an average of 30 gold per item. Everything else should be 40. This shouldn't be nerfed, because you gotta remember, because Mr. Panda was nerfed, like I said in the previous, and it went from items being 50 to items being 26 to 20, 18, so forth. This is not something that you're gonna see in Legion. You might see in WoD. Don't be surprised if they do it, guys. They did it last time, they'll do it again, because they want you to stay, in the current expansion, and they don't want you to really go back and back. Look at Cat, it's not the same it used to be. You can't say it's the same as it used to be, because it used to be, you can get anywhere from 10 to 20k, you can get a lot from there. Now you really can't. It's not nothing compared to it was in the back in the old days. So with that said, let's actually go on for the dungeons, and then we'll be out of here, guys. Alright guys, so the dungeons is going to have a total of 13 dungeons. I did not put Assault on Violet, because I'm going to tell you right now, I forgot if it changes every week, and it's something I don't want to go off of, because this is one of those dungeons that you're not going to want to do. There's no trash, there's nothing else to do, and if you want to do it just over Mythic Heroic just to get out of there, you go do it. But honestly, say stay away from Assault. It's just something that it's just everybody hated it. It just you got to agree with me. Let me know in the comments below if it actually is something you really didn't like, because you just sat there and doing nothing. It was kind of eh. But anyways, with that said, guys, the other 12 were so. It was actually underwhelming. If you actually look at all the stuff, if you were getting 25 gold per item, which you're going to get about that per item, you get 2 items per boss, and you get a total of 2,800 gold with all of them on normal mode, and you're going to get a total of 169 gold if they do not change. When I mean do not change right now, they're going 3 gold per boss, so if they change, it's going to be anywhere from 15 to 20 gold. This is something that we see in WoD, something we see in other dungeons when they went to Legacy. They changed from 3 to 15, which is what I suspect them going to do. I don't expect them to go all the way up to 20, because usually they just go around a 15 to 16 mark, 14 mark, depending on the boss. Now, with that said, what about if it does increase? How much is it going to be total? It's going to be 840 gold total, not 169, because 169 was based off of 3. And I wanted to do both, because if I am wrong and they do, 3 gold, then this is how much you're actually going to do. But I will say right now, I doubt they're going to do that. They're probably going to increase it, like I said, to 15, if 14 to 16, so forth. Now, with that said, let's actually decide, do we do these right now? No, we don't, because honestly, until we know how much trash is going to be dropping, because you got to remember too as well, this is another thing a lot of people forget, is that whenever it goes to Legacy, it's easier to kill the trash, and there could be farmable places. This is something I want to cover in future videos, and we're going to be covering these these dungeons, these raids, so forth. You know how like in the past when you can go to a dungeon or raid and just farm the trash, and you can get so much trash and it gives you so much thousands an hour? That's what we're going to be doing, guys. This is something that I always do when something like this happens. Here we do raw gold more than anything else, guys, and I do enjoy it. I'm very excited about this. So with a total of all the raids, not the dungeons, throw the dungeons as a window for right now, we're actually going to get 74,673 a week if you do it for one tune. Guys, this is awesome, and I can't tell you how much time it's going to take for, Legion raids, but when we come to that point, I will tell you guys. I'm very excited. This is something that I waited for, because I love doing raw gold. Y'all know, guys, I cover every aspect of raw gold. I try to find the best things, so prepare your butts off for, just a lot of videos of raw gold. These, these dungeons, these raids and everything is something I think that you're going to enjoy, and hopefully we can actually find, the best spots in the game to actually go after. But if you have any questions, let me know, guys. I love, answering questions for everybody, and something that I love doing. This is something that dear to my heart right now, because, there's another thing to do. We're all quarantined at the moment and so forth. So with a dungeon aspect, I do want to say right now, guys, take it with a grain of salt. This could increase a lot when it comes to, farming dungeons and so forth. This is not set in stone at all. There's none of this. So if you're on here and you come a comment and says this is not right or this wasn't right, well, guys, I'm just making a good estimate, from what the Dungeon Journal shows, what we showed in the past and so forth. So if you enjoyed this video, if you really like this, and you like the fact that I actually covered this before it came out, just to let y'all guys know, let me know in the comments below. Also, too, as I want to say right now, with all this hard time and everything, if you have that extra dollar, if you do, go to my Patreon, check it out, guys. For extra $1, you can actually get, you know, access to a Goblin Gold guide that I am making, and honestly, I think it's gonna be awesome for everybody because it has a lot of details, and honestly, it is really a 100 guide, and it's just so much stuff I've already done, and so much to come. This is gonna be something I'm gonna add to it, and I'm gonna add a lot more. So with that said, guys, thank you so much to my patrons who've been there all this time and are still there. Y'all went the extra mile, and y'all still going that extra mile. I want to say right now that April will be Mount Box give. Now, this is something I do to my patrons of $15 or more rank. Y'all get a box a month no matter what you do. Y'all are actually gonna get a, you know, a box of mounts next month, so you're gonna actually have some fun riding those mounts. Usually give pets, but it's actually gonna be mounts. So with that said, guys, I do want to say right now that we do have videos coming out, and I do apologize for not actually putting videos out on my schedule. I will be going through that schedule in the future. It's just with everything going on, guys, it's just a little bit hard to do the schedule when you got to do certain things to actually stay alive. Now, with that said, guys, like always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment, and stay stashy.